And, well, let's tell them how it ended. So it ended with number one becoming number one, winning the games, of
Wait,
course.
456.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all, folks.
Anyway. But yeah, go continue. 456 won.
456 won. So he's going back to the city, and he's just living his life like he didn't have all that money. Then he ends up getting, a letter? Ends up being the old guy at the top of a tower in a hospital bed, and they have this conversation.
And he was talking about the similarities between, you can have all the money in the world, wealthy, and being homeless. It's both your lives come to an end. And he found the reason why, he explained, because that's his biggest question. Obviously, everybody's question is like, why do any of this? And then why participated? Because he participated himself. So I appreciate that they completed it.
Yeah.
The thought of it all. Okay, I participated because there's nothing better than being involved yourself. I can rig it to a certain extent.
Right.
But putting my life on the line and going through it was a thrill for me. Because me and my friends had done everything. We'd experienced everything. We've done everything. We have all this money in the world. It gets boring.
Right.
So we wanted something to do. And the humans were basically horses. Were the bets. Right. We were gambling with lives. And then if you look at the date books, because you remember the archives, it started like 98, 99. So they had been doing it
for years.
For a hot minute, doing this shit.
So, anyways, number 456, old man dies at midnight.
Yep.
Right at midnight. And right when he loses the bet, the final game, which was someone going to come help the homeless dude, which someone did. Main character, or 456, finally gets a main character hair.
Yes, he did. I was like, look at him with this Ronald McDonald look, man.
He finally gets main character hair, and he's about to board his plane to go see his daughter. But then, he turns around because he sees that the guy who was slapping the little envelopes on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm skipping things. He saw that scene before he got to the plane.
Mm-hmm.
He called the card on the number on the way through the bridge. What's it called?
Yeah, the jet bridge.
Jet bridge. Yeah, I used to work there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
You know airport. You know airplane lingo.
Yeah, jet bridge.
Fuselage.
Yeah. Yeah, he's walking down the jet bridge, and he calls over a car, and they're like, "Who is this?" Well, you have to give your name and all that to enter the game.
Yep. And from there, like he was saying, he makes a decision, and he's like, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna put an end to it.
Yeah.
And then frontman gets on the phone and says, "You turn around, you get on that plane, because you don't want the smoke." It's pretty much what he says. You don't want this. You don't want the smoke. He turns right around and walks, and then we get the cut fade to black.
Yep.
And
so season 2 preview. Number 456. I need to learn his name because he's no longer a number anymore.
No, he isn't.
Although we're all numbers in one way or another. He's going to team up with the dude's brother, the cop dude. Again, they're going to go back to the island because the cop knows the way to the island.
Yeah, it is. I think that's going to happen too. That's my prediction too. They're going to have to introduce his brother. And on top of that, obviously we're going to get introduced to new characters as well. I think also we might even see more of a backstory with number 1.
Yeah.
And the other, because there's so many other people.
The VIPs, yeah.
Exactly. There's going to be more of an immersive thing and an introduction to that. I see that.
The VIP just seem like generic, like white people with money.
Well, not even that. We're going to get more history on Frontman. Because his brother, if you pay attention, won the game. Because he saw his brother's name and he saw he won. So how did his brother become the frontman? So we're gonna get more backstory than that. That's why there is gonna be season 2 because there's so many, and they did that intentionally.
Yeah.
And when you have, and I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this, it's on the this show is on the cusp of being the most streamed Netflix show in history.
Oh, it's not on the cusp. It is.
It is. What they're saying it's just about it. It hasn't passed it, but we know it will be. It's still trending as number 10 even after a month of being on there. It's on the. They said it hasn't passed it yet, but it's gonna be the most streamed thing in history of Netflix. The star, I feel a little bit sorry for the stars because they have a lot of fame. The stars of the show, obviously the top 5, we all don't know. 1, 456.
Yeah.
Sabotage, however you say your name.
Sabyuk. I know all the pretty girls' names.
There you have it. They've all been getting asked questions about season 2. Everybody's wondering. They're getting all this.
Because a lot of these stars, like for her in particular, this was her first role because she was like a model on like America's Top Model Korea or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is her first role, and for a lot of these actors, it's kind of catapulted their career. They're following on Instagram, like I don't even think there's a word past like quadrupled
Wow.
because it's just astronomical how.
Oh yeah, well 456 has done a lot, and so has the guy who's 288. They both.
Yeah.
The dude who's 288 actually plays a lot of villains.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that in Korean dramas. Because my lady's Laoshin, and she's big into Korean dramas,
Yeah.
and she's like, dude, this dude's done it. Man, he's great at playing a villain.
288 is the.
Is the guy that everybody would consider pretty much a villain.
Okay, Sang-woo.
Is basically his best friend.
Okay, because I thought you were talking about
450
the gangster dude, because the gangster dude has also been.
He is too. He's another famous one, and 456 is very famous too. So these guys are all famous in Korean dramas. They're great at it. That's why the acting, their acting was great to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So, like you said, it did getting on this Americanized platform.
Yeah.
Blew them up. Now another thing we need to talk about that I posted recently on my Facebook is the man behind it, the man who wrote and directed this. Did you see the story behind him?
Oh yes, that it got rejected like 10 times or some shit.
No, he was rejected for 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
10
That's
years.
Worse.
He was told no over 50 times. It's too much. South Korea was totally against it, so they didn't get it. He tried. The man, had to sell his laptop, the very laptop that he was using to write the story. He had to sell it because he needed money. Now, obviously, he was able to get the money back to finish the story out and do it. But the man was struggling. Doors were closed on him, and to have the tenacity and the drive to keep doing it, even though you're told no so many times, is amazing.
Yeah.
10 years, people told him no, and here it is now. You're going to become the most streamed thing on Netflix in history. That's since the inception of Netflix.
Right.
Which everybody remembers. Netflix was originally there to combat the red box.
Right.
And Blockbuster. I don't know how old our audience is, but
what's a red box?
Back in the day, you used to get done for school and shit, and you would have an opportunity to go to a place called Blockbuster.
I was gonna say there was this little circular thing we used to call a DVD.
DVDs and Blu-ray came after that. And you would go to a place that sold said items, and you'd rent it for $24, $48, for the weekend. For most of us, for the weekend, you watch it, and before that was VHS. We'll leave VHS alone. But that was the inception of Netflix. Are those shows and stuff you watch, you could go to Netflix, rent it, and you can do it for 24 hours and give it back, or you could hold it for a week and you would pay $1 a day. So it was a good deal because most DVDs back then ran about $25 to $30 per one. So it was a great deal. Well, as the internet became big, they turned into a streaming service. And next thing you know it, now Netflix and chill has become a whole culture itself. So like I said, and even then, so that's why it's amazing that all these companies and people like himself, his individual, it's an incredible story. Just like you that's on Netflix is a big phenomenon. It was on Bravo. It was on so many other networks, and it did awful.
Yeah.
Nobody liked it. As soon as it went to Netflix, blew up.
Is that what everyone's talking about, like season 3 or whatever?
Exactly. And that's what happens. Sometimes you're told no, and sometimes you go and do something, and it doesn't blossom as well. Yeah. And all it takes is remarketing and taking it to a different platform, and it selling, flying off the shelves after that.
And it works in every situation, Bill Cosby.
Oh. Well, that wraps us up for this one. It's been nice knowing you guys,
She says no, go to the next.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Don't force it.
Just go to the next.
Anyway.
Oh.
So about that Malcolm Mill. McDonald's, yeah. But no, I really find that this Alice in Borderland.
Oh yeah, that's my next one. That's gonna be.
I gotta check that out too. Parasite. There's so.
Oh yeah, Parasite was good. So
exactly.
That was the first Korean movie that I watched.
That one is what put a lot of people on game for South Korea and the creativity behind it. And I'm gonna find that hopefully with the way Korean drama, with the way this is done, it's gonna inspire Americanized actors and movie directors to start going in that direction and telling stories. Because it crossed a lot of lines. Because a lot of people, if you look at the disclaimer when you first watch it, it had Sui-kun, it had a lot of questionable things.
Sui-kun? Like the Pokemon?
Yeah, we can't say the other word. So it had Sui-kun in it. So for
the algorithm.
Got it. It had other stuff in it that was very questionable, and there was a lot of scenes, especially that first scene that everyone has made memes about. And even if you've never seen Squid Games, that red light, green light scene, is questionable to a lot of people. A lot of people couldn't handle that.
Right.
They couldn't get past that episode.
Well, I look at it like this. Squid Game is the type of show that would also do well as an anime.
Oh my God! If it was an anime, it'd be amazing because they could do so much more with that.
An anime adaptation would be amazing for Squid Game.
They're gonna do it eventually.
And that's the thing. Live action to anime works much better than anime to live action. Hot take.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I concur. So, and I just love the artistry, the story. It was well done from beginning to end. I mean, and I don't know if you looked at the budget. I think the budget was between 15 and 20 million, 15 to 20 million euro.
Yeah.
So, and they said the most expensive aspects of it was the staircases, which was surprising.
Yeah, I would think that would be.
And then the glass bridge was the most expensive aspects of it, which is crazy when you think about it. There's a scene, if obviously you've seen the movie with the glass and everything like that, and that was apparently pretty damn expensive.
And they blew that glass up, and that's when I knew, someone got fucked up with that glass.
Well, she kind of showed it. I was like, oh, she got stabbed through. Some of the stuff is a little predictable, but there was still pretty good plot twists, obviously, with it all and everything. Like I said, this has become a phenomenon. I mean, and you got to think K-pop too. Period. Is blown up here in the States. BTS and all these other groups. Yeah. Koreans are getting a lot of love here, and it's opening up a whole new culture and getting us all to. So I'm excited for the future because for this man to be working so hard for 10 years and it finally happens.
And finally pays off. You hear that time and time again between that Tyler Perry, same thing.
Yep, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah, the list goes on, and that's what the biggest takeaway from all this stuff is. Whatever you're doing, don't stop doing it. Don't believe, even if nobody's backing you.
Don't stop believing.
No copyright strikes.
Because it's a cover, dog.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm an original singer.
Streetlights. But the point is stick with it, guys. That's the biggest thing you can take from this. And everyone's hyped for season 2. As soon as they announce season 2, take off again.
Yep, and I will be in my Squid Game pink soldier costume.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, is that what you're going to be for Halloween?
That's what I'm going to be for Halloween.
Yeah, you can't find that shit anywhere.
So the triangle's a soldier, the square is a manager, and the circle is a...
That's an underling.
It's a, worker.
So worker.
Worker, yeah.
It goes circle, then the square, and then triangles, I think, are the big... Or is it square?
Triangle's a soldier. They're the ones with the guns.
That's right, and then squares are kind of like the supervisors.
Manager, yeah.
And then you got front man, and then, yeah. Those masks were pretty dope, too, man. Them gold masks with the different animals, that was pretty dope, too.
Anyways, what did you guys think of Squid Game? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Please let us know down below so we can respond to you, maybe.
Yes. And comments, like, subscribe, hit that notification bells, all that.
That's what I said.
He said that, but I'm going to reiterate it, And tip your waitress. Malcolm Mill.
Don't drink and drive.
Please don't. Like I said, Malcolm Mill, McDonald's, we're looking for sponsorship.
We're outro.
It's 2 patties, and then you put the